Michael Joseph Jackson was born on August 29, 1958 in Gary, Indiana, and entertained audiences nearly his entire life. His father, Joe Jackson, no relation to Joe Jackson, also a musician, had been a guitarist, but was forced to give up his musical ambitions following his marriage to Michael's mother Catherine Jackson, née Catherine Esther Screws. Together, they prodded their growing family's musical interests at home. By the early 1960s, the older boys Jackie, Tito and Jermaine had begun performing around the city. By 1964, Michael and Marlon had joined in. A musical prodigy, Michael's singing and dancing talents were amazingly mature, and he soon became the dominant voice and focus of the Jackson 5. An opening act for such soul groups as the O'Jays and James Brown, it was Gladys Knight, not Diana Ross, who officially brought the group to Berry Gordy's attention, and by 1969, the boys were producing back-to-back chart-busting hits as Motown artists: I Want You Back, ABC, Never Can Say Goodbye, Got to Be There, etc. As a product of the 1970s, the boys emerged as one of the most accomplished black pop, soul vocal groups in music history, successfully evolving from a group like the Temptations to a disco phenomenon. Solo success for Michael was inevitable, and by the 1980s, he had become infinitely more popular than his brotherly group. Record sales consistently orbited, culminating in the biggest-selling album of all time, Thriller, in 1982. A TV natural, he ventured rather uneasily into films, such as playing the Scarecrow in The Wiz, 1978, but had much better luck with elaborate music videos. In the 1990s, the downside as a 1980s pop phenomenon began to rear itself. Michael grew terribly childlike and introverted by his peerless celebrity. A rather timorous, androgynous figure to begin with, his physical appearance began to change drastically, and his behavior grew alarmingly bizarre, making him a consistent target for scandal-making, despite his numerous charitable acts. Two brief marriages, one to Elvis Presley's daughter Lisa Marie Presley, were forged and two children produced by his second wife during that time, but the purposes behind them appeared image-oriented. Michael Jackson died on June 25, 2009 in Los Angeles, California. His passion and artistry as a singer, dancer, writer and businessman were unparalleled, and it is these prodigious talents that will ultimately prevail over the extremely negative aspects of his life. From the late 1980s, Jackson became a figure of controversy and speculation due to his changing appearance, relationships, behavior, and lifestyle. In 1993, he was accused of sexually abusing the child of a family friend. The lawsuit was settled out of civil court. Jackson was not indicted due to lack of evidence. In 2005, he was tried and acquitted of further child sexual abuse allegations and several other charges. The FBI found no evidence of criminal conduct by Jackson in either case. In 2009, while he was preparing for a series of comeback concerts, This Is It, Jackson died from an overdose of propofol administered by his personal physician, Conrad Murray, who was convicted in 2011 of involuntary manslaughter. His death triggered reactions around the world, creating unprecedented surges of internet traffic and a spike in sales of his music. A televised memorial service for Jackson, held at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, was viewed by more than an estimated 2.5 billion people globally. Jackson is one of the best-selling music artists of all time, with estimated sales of over 400 million records worldwide, NB2. He had 13 Billboard Hot 100 #1 singles, third highest of any artist in the Hot 100 era, and was the first artist to have a top 10 single in the Billboard Hot 100 in 5 different decades. His honors include 15 Grammy Awards, 6 Brit Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and 39 Guinness World Records, including the most successful entertainer of all time. Jackson's inductions include the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, twice, the Vocal Group Hall of Fame,